What are indexes in MongoDB? How does indexing make data retrieval faster? Very important question. First of all, we know if you have the idea of indexes in SQL, then the purpose is also very much same here. For example, suppose you have a node application, okay, and you have a collection of user documents in a MongoDB database, something like this. Okay, now suppose your node application is frequently accessing the data by filtering based on the name field. For example, where name equal to Anurag, where name equal to Happy. So this kind of frequently data they are accessing the node application. Now in small databases, this filtering is not a problem, but in huge databases where there are millions of records, this filtering based on the name field will scan and search all the documents in the user's collection, which will be then very time taking. Right? Agree? Until now, we haven't created index, and that is the before creating. Okay, so basically data is directly retrieved after the filtering. Now to make the data retrieval faster, we will first create an index on the name field. Okay, so as a result, after creating index, MongoDB will create a separate index data structure for the name field like this. Okay, listen carefully. We also call this as data structure and index tree also. Okay, this data structure as index tree. Here indexed fields will be stored here separately, the name field with their IDs in the ascending order. Okay, now remember this index tree will be stored physically like a document inside the database only. So after creating the index, now when the node application will search for the data, then first the query will hit this index, because the condition or filter name, there is name field, you are searching by name field, right, which is indexed. So this index tree will be searched first, and as you can see, this data is sorted in ascending order. Now listen carefully. Because it is in ascending order, therefore the search or the scan of the data based on the name filter will be very fast this time. Okay, because it is easy to scan ordered data in, but above it was very time taking, and therefore it will be immediately locate this name Happy and get the data from the ascending data. Okay, so I think yes, that's the logic. And one more thing, that's the logic behind how the index retrieve the data faster. Okay, they are stored separately and then in ascending order, from which data can be easily accessed. Okay, and one more thing, whenever you update or inserting the data in the above collection, so the MongoDB, whenever any update will happen, the MongoDB will automatically update this index tree so that indexing remains accurate. Okay, so that will automatically be happen. So great, that is the idea of indexing. I hope you got it. And here is the simplest definition. Indexes are the data structures which I have shown you below, which improve the speed of the data retrieval operations on the collections. And also remember, by default index are automatically created on the ID field. That's why you do not have to create on index on the ID field. But for other fields like name and others, you have to create the index. That how to create that I will show in a upcoming question, but now you got the idea, and that's the answer in the question. And yes, in the next slide I have shared few points about index update, which I already explained, but yes, it can help you in the quick revision just before the interviews from the book later. How to create indexes in MongoDB? Very short and simple answer, and here is the code. As you can see, the create index method can be used to create the index on any field like this. Pass the field name and the value 1 as the argument to this function. And yeah, the same thing is written here also. Great. That was really quick, because when we know the concept, then writing the code is not the issue. And I think even if you forgot those things about the syntax, that's fine. But you should know the concepts, like what is indexing, why we need it. That was very important. This is a scenario based question, and sometimes interviewer wants to check your real knowledge. Have you ever created indexes or not? So this question can check this, and I was also asked this kind of questions in my interviews. So if this is your code, like, then on which field you will create an index, projection field or the filter field? So how you will decide? See, the answer is create the index on the name field, which is basically the filtering field. Okay. The reason is because filtering only affects the time for scanning and searching the whole collection, right? If you create an index on it, then the scanning time will be less. Projection fields doesn't have too much impact on scanning. Okay, so there is no point in creating index for projection fields because they are just selected. Search has been because the scan will be based on the filter field, which will take time. Okay, because has to search all the whole document, whole collection. Okay, great. That's the answer, and the same is written here. Again, a scenario based question. What happens if I create an index on all the fields of a collection? So the speed will be very fast, right? But if you remember, then indexes are the data structures and they occupy physical space and memory in your database, right? Therefore, creating many indexes for the fields which are not even used for filtering, that can impact the performance negatively. Okay, so create index for fields that are frequently used in the query conditions, filtering or sorting only. Do not create indexes blindly on each and every field. Okay, that's the answer, and the same is written here also. What is the difference between single field indexes and multi-field indexes? Let's understand with the help of the code. First, we are setting up the connection and getting the user collection as usual, nothing important. Then we are creating a single field index like this by using this create index method. Yes, by default, it will create a single field index, and because here indexes are created on this single fields, that's why the name is also single field. Okay. Now here is the way to create the compound indexes. And as you can see, compound indexes are creating index on multiple fields. And the use cases when you have to create these compound it's index. So if you are frequently using this name and age fields together in your filter conditions from the node application for the queries, then this compound index can really improve the performance. So depends on the requirement actually. So that's the difference between them. Finally, I have written whatever I have explained, so that your last minute revision just before the interviews will be very quick and fast from this book. What